So, thanks to the pandemic, a lot of people are taking their sex life online. And for this how to, I'm going to do something different, which is how to have sex with other people online when you're in a relationship. It's one big sentence. But for a lot of couples who, especially, are facing this second wave that is hitting us at the moment, they're feeling a little bit bored at home, that's stale in their relationships, and they want to do something interesting, exciting to spice things up, but of course, staying safe and away from people. So, being able to engage in some form of virtual sex online can be a really safe, easy option in order to do this. So, there are a few points though that I thought would be really useful to talk about. And the first is asking yourself and your partner why it is that you want to engage in this. And there's no right or wrong answer, but I think it's really important to be connected to the reason. It just might be because we want to have some fun, because we want to do something different. We want to spice things up in the bedroom. But I also think it's really important to discuss what you define as infidelity, because this starts to become a bit of a grey space for a lot of people. If your partner were to be having virtual sex with someone else without you there, is that cheating? These are the kind of things that I think it's worth talking about, even in general, because with everything going online, you need to discuss what boundaries there are and what limitations that you might expect of your other half. Speaking of boundaries, that's something else that's really important to be talking about before you play in this space. Where are your triggers? What makes you feel uncomfortable? Where are those limits? If you cross your boundaries and you just go into a situation like this with expectations of each other that are different, then that can start to create that mistrust even if you haven't had that conversation. So it's really important to discuss your boundaries and also understand from each other's point of view where your expectations are. Now, testing out the waters is also really useful. If you are new to this whole world of virtual sex and you're not really sure how comfortable you feel, but it sounds exciting, then being able to jump into one of these chat rooms where you can potentially see other people having sex or getting naked or performing sexual acts, but you can just watch on and even talk to your partner about how you feel. Is it exciting? Do you want to jump in as well? Do you want to start having some form of sexual contact with each other and seeing how you both enjoy it? It's always really good with anything when you're testing something out to make sure that you continue to communicate about how you feel. There's a lot of interesting, fun things that we can do in the bedroom, but sometimes it's really important to test the waters first. Now, also the biggest important thing is make sure you have an opt-out signal. So this kind of comes in line with our boundaries, that if you are discussing boundaries and what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, make sure that there is some signal that you can directly give to your partner which says, I'm uncomfortable, let's opt out of this. That way it gives you that security that whatever that you get into, if you feel uncomfortable and you feel triggered, that you know there is a way out of that. But it's really important that as a couple, you know what that is and you respect that signal when it and if it does arise from the other person. So I hope that helps. It is a very different world that we're living in, and I'm finding that the advice that I am having to give to people has changed a little bit too, and we are very much playing in that virtual space. So I hope that helps. Now, if you have an Ask Dr. Nikki or a how-to that you want answered, make sure that you jump over to my Facebook page and you can ask me anything.